I want to cover how I do frames. A lot of the jigs out there actually show top nailing the frame itself, so you'll have a frame like this and they'll actually nail them to the top so that you can actually put it in a jig and you can just nail like 50 of them. If you're in a commercial operation, that's probably cool. If you're a hobbyist beekeeper and you're actually in your hive quite often, you'll find that doing that, sometimes it'll pull out right here and you're left with a tough situation. You've either broken the comb or whatever. Sometimes they'll pull out at the bottom as well. I'm just going to show you how I do it. And in the process I do, I actually make sure that they're glued and then stapled. They're side stapled. So the side stapling actually has a greater shear strength than just a nail that comes out. What happens over time is the staple that's put in from the top, the wood will shrink and swell, and the staple itself will rust, and so they can actually pull out because the holding power is gone if the staple's rusted inside, or if the wood is shrunk at all. Usually there's an expansion and contraction when it comes to the moisture inside the hive, as well as some changes in temperature. So these joints get really loose over time. I'll show you how they never get loose if you do it the right way. I tilt this down, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Yeah. So I actually line them all up. I'll take multiple tops here and I'll set them up here and line them up. And then I'll take my bottom pieces as well and line those up. These are all going to be face up so that the part that you see right now is exposed to the inside of the hive, or inside of the comb. Take my glue and I put down the foil. You can use paper, but I put down the foil just because it's super messy, and this actually makes it easy to clean up. Foil doesn't really stick to much. It's cheap. And if I want to, I can recycle it, or I can just throw that away. And I just run a bead through on the top of these. And then I use what's called a acid brush. These are super cheap. You can get it like 40 or 50 of them in a pack. You can get them from Woodcrafters. I think Harbor Freight sells them as well. And so I'll just sit there and brush these in, separate them just a little bit, and brush in the sides. And this gives me good glue coverage on all the mating joints. You want at least enough glue to adhere a bit. We're not doing a ton. I'm not gonna build furniture with these, so I'm not going to glue both the mating joints. But in this case, I'm actually just kind of brushing in the extra pieces. Some people are worried about the glue being a problem for the bees. It's not a problem. Most of the Titebond glues are actually food safe once they're cured. The bees pretty much ignore this stuff. If anything, they treat it a little bit like propolis, so I've never had them actually try to chew it away. All right, once you get those on there, then I just take these, move this back here, put them on the top, put this piece here, and I'll assemble them all, but to make this video as short as possible, I'll just show you how I staple them. So now I'll actually hold it right here with my fingers, and I'll flip it. And I'm actually just trying to clamp just a little bit with my fingers. As long as the glue is still liquid, it'll move fairly easy. And then I'll flip it again. And I'm done. That's one frame. It really will not come apart. It will break the ear before that staple comes out. So you can see that the staple is actually stapled there, and it's a side staple. Staples I use are galvanized staples, so they're less likely to rust. They're 1/2 inch, and I have a 3/8 inch narrow crown stapler. So that's how I build the frames.